Hey guys, it's Tammy. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that I've purchased in the last few months. Some of these are belated birthday gifts and belated Christmas gifts. It's no secret that there was a postal strike in Canada, and so a lot of things took a very long time to get to me. So I am just going to show you what finally arrived and what I've purchased in the last couple of months. So starting out with a fragrance that I've actually been interested in quite a while, but I've never mentioned it on my channel before. This is Diptyque Tam Dao, and I got a little 10 ml of the Eau de Toilette. This was available on my fragrance group. I saw it and I thought I would just go for it because I do enjoy this fragrance. I've had samples of both the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette for quite a while now, and I've compared those back and forth, and I don't really see a whole lot of difference between the two. They're both just a very nice, beautiful, light, fresh, crisp, yet creamy sandalwood. I really like this scent, and I'm glad to have the little 10 ml. You guys know I don't go through fragrances very fast at all, so this is, oh, it's so good. It's such a lovely, creamy, beautiful sandalwood. I find it quite fresh. I find it musky, pleasant, clean, soapy. I really love it. I'm happy to have this one. So next I have a couple of fragrances that I have mentioned on my channel and shown in a few videos, but I haven't featured in an official haul. I like to do a haul just to keep you guys up on what's in my collection, just the same way as when I do a declutter. It shows you what's kind of coming in and going out of my collection, just keeps you up to date. I really like it when other content creators do the same thing. So the first one is Fenty, and I did show this in my November favorites video. And I mean, this is, guys, I can't believe that I even like this. It's a type of rose that I don't feel is a crowd-pleasing scent because there's not really much sweetness to it. Or rather, the type of sweetness that it has is not like tonka bean vanilla rich type of creamy sweetness. It's a fresh fruity sweetness. It does have blueberry, it does have tangerine, and then it has a bunch of florals. Besides rose, it has magnolia and geranium, and there's patchouli. Really, it's not one that I can even believe that I like it because it's sort of an unsweet rose. But I love it, and to wear it, the wearing experience is just incredible. My travel size of this was getting very low, so I am super happy to have the 30 ml. And one that I ordered before the strike, and it eventually arrived after the strike was over. I think it arrived just before Christmas or just after Christmas, and this is Glossier You Rêve. And I have mentioned that when I got the full bottle of this, it was a little bit different than when I had tried it in the store. In store, it was a little more just creamy and sweet, and when I actually purchased the full bottle, I found it a little fuzzy. It had that real cashmere vibe. It almost reminded me a little bit of Palo Santo and that type of woodiness that it has, even though it is Glossier You Do that has the Palo Santo note in it, and this one doesn't. But the longer I have this, the more I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of enjoying that fuzzy cashmere vibe that it has to it. And it has a very creamy buttercream. It's almost like buttercream frosting, but with that woodiness, it all combines to give me almost like a root beer sensation. So I really have been enjoying Glossier You Rêve. Another one that I got just after Christmas was a full size of Burberry Goddess. And I've shown my travel size on here, and you guys may know that it's been getting really low. So I am very happy to have a full bottle of Burberry Goddess. I mean, this is just an amazing vanilla. I get a really powdery ginger in it. I get a little hint of lavender, not much, and I do get the cacao that's in this. It's just a perfect combination. Everything goes together with the vanilla so well, and I love it. Very happy to have Burberry Goddess. Then a couple of fragrances that arrived to me before the strike, and I ordered them a little bit earlier than my birthday, so they got to me in time. And these were both by Ledda. I always go for the travel sizes when it comes to Ledda. Last year on my birthday, I got the other two. I got Vanilla Nera and 22 Orris. So the new one, which is 20 Bourbon Brûlée. When I first got it, I thought it was a little bit too sweet for me. I was starting to get a little bit of a maple flavor, and maple flavoring can just be a little bit too sweet for me. So, I mean, it is kind of a vanilla scent, but there are so many other notes in this. There's whiskey, and there's cypriol oil, and there's, you know, florals and woods. There is plum, and there's tonka bean, and those just add to like the richness and depth. And basically, I do get a rich, creamy vanilla with a sort of a sexy edge to it. So I am enjoying this. I'm still getting to know it. I just have the tiniest dent, and I really love these little leather cases that they come in. They just, it's so nice. And the 14 Isla Coco, you know, it really reminds me of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, but it does have that little bit of a coconut touch to it. So it would put me a little bit more in mind of Light Blue Sun. And I used to own that one as well. That one was a little light for me. Now, this can be a little bit sharp to my nose, not exactly like a hairspray vibe, but just that more perfumey vibe that it has to it. It does have some beautiful florals. It has a lot of citrus. It also has lighter, fresher, brighter notes. Fig, there's black tea. It's really nice. There's ylang in it, so it does have sort of a tropical vibe to it, but it does read a little bit more on the fresh, bright side, sort of like Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana. So for Christmas, I got a couple of fragrances from my husband. There was Glow and Oh So Fresh Glow from the Daisy line, but they were just not my style. But there's one that I had smelled before Christmas and I had thought I wanted, and so I thought I would exchange those for this, and I was sure that I loved it, and I still think I like it, but I'm still getting to know it. And this is Musc Nude by Narciso Rodriguez. So back in December when we had gone Christmas shopping, I sprayed this on a card one day. And when we went to the hotel room that night, I kept smelling this piece of paper and I kept thinking, I like this. Like, this is a very me scent. It's musky. It's just like Your Skin But Better. It's sort of a boyfriend musk. I was thinking like I really liked it. And then when I went to exchange the Daisy fragrances, I asked her if I could just smell it from the bottle. And so I did. And I thought, okay, yeah, I think this is the way I remember it. I think I like it. Now that I've had it home and I've worn it, I'm not as sure. And I mean, that happens. First of all, I love this bottle. I'm actually really happy to have it just for the bottle's sake. I love that frosted pink. Oh my word. It's so pretty. It's kind of an interesting scent because at different stages of when I first spray it out all the way down to the dry down, I get reminders of so many different Narciso Rodriguez scents. When I first spray it out, it reminds me of Musc Noir. And a few minutes later, it's reminding me of Musc Noir Rose. And I've actually compared those side by side because I do have samples of all of those ones. Honestly, at most points through the wearing time, it reminds me of Narciso Rouge, like a lighter version of the Rouge. There are times that I don't get that sweetness, and so it's reminding me more of the original White Cube, the Narciso EDP. There are times throughout the wearing that it has reminded me of both the EDP and the EDT of Narciso For Her. The only ones it really didn't remind me of were Narciso Ombre, Narciso Cristal. It didn't remind me of those too much. And I even compared this to For Her Absolute, which I also have a sample of. I've done a lot of comparing, and it just feels like every Narciso Rodriguez fragrance that was ever created was wrapped up into one, and then it just was the memory of those, because it's not a strong, overpowering scent. Not that the performance is just like a wisp of a memory. Like, it has fairly good performance as well. I'm just not so sure about it yet. I do really get really strong reminders of the Musc Noir. You know how that one has sort of like the suede and the plum? I think that's combining to give me that sort of, not root beer, not wintergreen, but something along those lines. Like, there's a very like sweet but minty undertone to it. Just smelling it now from the nozzle, I'm getting almost a little bit of an animalic vibe. So anyway, this one I'm going to be playing around with. I have worn this a couple of times and I do enjoy it. I need to get to know it more, but yeah, that is Musc Nude by Narciso Rodriguez. So there was an order I also placed. I ordered it on November 10th. And it arrived last night, January 21st. So 2.5 months later, I finally got my main birthday order, which was a bunch of samples, because I love samples, and also 3 decants of my top fragrances that are on my wish list. I just really wanted all of them and I couldn't decide, and I just thought, you know, a 9ml decant would last me a good long time. And my thinking is, whichever of these I run out of first, I'm going to buy a full bottle of that one. So there is Lost in a Dream by Navitus. And oh my God, it is just a lactonic, creamy, beautiful, dreamy scent that reminds me of one of the other ones that I got, which is Sissa by Mind Games. Maybe you guys don't consider it a haul to just show decants, but I do. Because, I mean, A full bottle of Sissa for me is going to be between $500 and $600. La Cendrime is much more affordable, but I think I like Sissa a little better. But I just figure having the decants, I'm going to be able to like do many full wear tests of these and compare them and see which I like better. And then the third one was Cavort by Fragrance Du Bois. This is actually my scent of the day today. There's just something about it. But now that I have the decant, I'm thinking, I'm not sure that I would want a full bottle actually. You know, your taste can kind of change over time with fragrances. And I think I really do need this 9ml decant to really be sure. Now, after the strike ended, I felt almost like I had been like released from a cage, and I started ordering a few more fragrances. So the very first one that I went ahead and ordered, and I just threw caution to the wind, and I ordered Byron Parfums Mula Mula, and this is the Art Deco bottle. So I saw this limited edition Art Deco bottle for the first time when I was watching Sharida, and I thought to myself, I need that bottle. It is gorgeous. The regular Byron Parfums bottles, I'm not like a huge fan of. Like they're very bright blue, bright red. Some of them are black, but you know, they're okay. But I loved this bottle when I saw it on her channel, and I adore Mula Mula. It's been on my wish list for quite a while. I really love this sort of matte, like sort of bluish green with gold. I love this. I kind of wish that this would have been able to stay intact, but you had to, you know, tear the cardboard to get into the box. And then you have the beautiful green and gold bottle. Now, when I opened this for the first time, you guys, this wasn't facing forward. It was sideways. And when I took it out, this cap wasn't attached. It was just loose. And this had a black plastic over the top of it. And I was like, what's going on? And this just would not stay on. But what had happened was the black inside had come unglued from the gold cap, and the black was clicked on and the gold cap was just loose. So what did I have to do? I had to channel my inner Jamie. I was like, what would Jamie do in this situation? Because she is the queen of, you know, what was it Rose said the other day? She knows how to get stuff out of stuff. She knows how to take bottles and, you know, put the perfume into this bottle and fix up this bottle and change the caps and fix them. So what did I do? I found my glue gun. And so I glued the black plastic back into the gold cap, and now it works. Now it's not on there very sturdy. Like it is quite a light snap on there. Also, the bottle was a little bit scuffed up when I got it. Anyway, I'm not sure what happened or why it was in that condition, but it's totally fine. I just got my glue gun, fixed the situation, and I have to say that this has been an absolute joy to wear this. I have worn this a couple of times. I've worn it out. I've worn it in the house. And it's Mula Mula. It's a different bottle, but it's completely exactly the same as the Mula Mula I have had. I've had a sample, I've had a decant, and now I finally have a full bottle, and I have it in this gorgeous bottle. I'm so happy to have this. So happy. Now, I didn't order it directly from Byron Parfums. I ordered it from, I think it's Parfums de France. But anyways, I literally have to say this brings me so much joy when I wear it. It brings me pure joy. It makes me so happy. I love the berries, the caramel, the oud, everything about it. It is just, it's so pretty and sweet. Oh, it has, you know, strawberry and caramel and oud. Basically, that's what I get out of it. There's probably a lot of other notes, but that is, in general, that is like what I'm sensing in this perfume is those three notes. And I love it. And then I placed a little order on fragrancebuy.ca because it had been so long since I had ordered from them. I actually think that they were using an alternate delivery system. I think they were maybe using, you know, either UPS or FedEx or whatever to deliver. And I think they had that listed on their website. I could be wrong about that, but I think you could still order from there and get it even with the postal strike. But I don't know, once the postal strike was over, I just felt so liberated. And I just want to order all the things. So there's one that I have been wanting to try, and it was very inexpensive. I believe it was maybe $35. And so that would only be about $20 American maybe. And this was by Maison Alhambra Exclusive Saffron. Hey Liz, I hear Liz from Naturally Liz talking about this all the time. And I knew that it was supposed to be a dupe for Saffron Lazuli from the private line of Carolina Herrera. So the thing about that is that those are supposedly both similar to Cavort. And I was thinking, man, if I could find something that's just like Cavort for such an inexpensive price, wow. As soon as I sprayed it, I thought, my gosh, is there cinnamon in here? Now that I'm smelling it now, I'm not picking up on the cinnamon, but there was something very spicy that was reminding me of cinnamon. And so I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. So I have actually compared this side by side with Cavort a couple of times, but I did it with my sample of Cavort. Now that I actually have my decant, I'm actually gonna freely test them and compare them. Both times that I have compared them, I really felt that I was just getting cinnamon and exclusive saffron. And I was like, it's just not as good because I don't prefer things with a lot of cinnamon, and I don't even think cinnamon is a note listed in here. I'm not saying that, but that is the sense that I'm getting. Is that like sweet spiciness that's kind of sharp like cinnamon. I mean, it is good. I actually wore this the other day and I really enjoyed it. So, you know, maybe it will be a good substitute for Cavort. But now, like, Cavort has more rose and Cavort is more lotiony and creamy. That's what it is. But having this decant of Cavort will give me enough time to play around with it and to make my mind up, like, you know, do I really need a $500 or $600 bottle of perfume, or am I okay with this little $35 guy? I mean, this does have rose. I'm just not sensing the rose as much as I do in Cavort. This has the same exact note breakdown as Saffron Lazuli. I have not actually smelled that one. Now, it has black currant, it has rose, there's leather, saffron, of course. There's also like tonka bean. Maybe that's where I'm getting a little bit of that sharp cinnamon type of smell from. There's vanilla. I mean, it's really nice. It's really sexy. It was in the dry down where I would smell Cavort and then exclusive saffron, and I would think, oh my gosh, they're actually exactly the same. But it was probably like 2 hours into the dry down before I got that like exact similarity. But for the first couple hours, I felt like I was getting more cinnamon from this and more rose from Cavort, which I would prefer. And Cavort was just a little bit more lotiony, creamy, a little bit more well blended. But anyway, that's exclusive saffron by Maison Alhambra. So when I placed the order for exclusive saffron, I actually got another bottle of fragrance, and it was my very first Initio. And you're probably, I have the name covered. I want you to guess which one I got. I don't know if you would guess it unless you saw the video that I made recently, which was everything I've smelled in store lately. And there were a couple of perfumes that really stood out to me from a shopping trip when I went to Boston, and one of them was Initio Magnetic Blend 7. I bet that's not what you were expecting. So when I had smelled this in store in Boston, there was something about it that was just so captivating to me. It is just a beautiful musk scent. And, you know, I didn't really expect the Initio bottles to be so short and stout. I've always pictured them to be like taller and leaner, but they're very short and stout. This is one of those fragrances that is very hard to explain. And it's also one of those fragrances that some people can't really detect as well. The type of musk that is in here, it reminds me of Mojave Ghost. It does have that same kind of unexplainable musk that you get in something like Mojave Ghost. It's a creamy, kind of clean, musky scent. It's really hard to explain. Now, I've heard this compared to Diez and Durga, I don't know what. And I have a decant of that I got from Scentbird, and I actually can see that, but I like this better. And I actually layered this with a fragrance the other day. I layered it with Mula Mula, and it was nice, and I wore it out that night. It was a really nice combo. So anyways, surprise, my first Initio is Magnetic Blend 7. So for Christmas, I also had gotten some gift certificates to Sephora. So I wanted to place a little order, and there have been a few that I've been wanting to try out. A couple that I've smelled before and one that I had not smelled before. And I went with travel sizes of them so that I would kind of get my money's worth out of my gift certificates. First of all is one that I have smelled before in store. And I knew I kind of liked it, but I had smelled it recently when I was in store, and I was like, I don't remember this being this good. And this is Nest Vanilla Bourbon. And I have found one of my all-time favorite vanillas with this scent. I feel like there were just so many vanilla releases in 2024 that this kind of got lost in the shuffle. And I do remember smelling it when it came out, and I do remember enjoying it and thinking it was nice, but I was thinking, oh, it's just another vanilla. But when I smelled it recently in store, I thought, I think I am missing out on something very special here. And when I got this travel size and I sprayed it, I was like, oh, wow. It is a very creamy, jasmine heavy vanilla. And I really like jasmine when it is so fresh and creamy and sweet. Sometimes jasmine can go a little bit animalic for me, and I don't enjoy it as much when it does that. And the type of jasmine that's in here is night blooming jasmine, and I tend to really like that in fragrances. It's a buttery jasmine, and it just comes across, I just love it. The brown sugar in here is not molassesy. It's more like brown sugar melted down with butter. It's creamy, it's buttery. It's a creamy, buttery, floral vanilla, and I am loving it. And the great thing is that when I sprayed it, my husband, he's like, I don't think I've ever smelled a fragrance that I love that much on you. And every time I wear it, he's going crazy over it. I've already worn it 3 or 4 times since I've had it, and I've only had it about a week. So I am loving it. Now, the performance is not the best performance I've ever experienced on a fragrance, in that it's quite quiet. It doesn't really project out too far, and it doesn't last really long on skin. But as with most fragrances, it does last for ages on clothing. So that is Vanilla Bourbon by Nest. And this will, I mean, honestly, this will probably end up being a full bottle. I want to have this. Like, this is probably going to be a lifer for me, and that could change, but right now I feel like this is going to be a lifer. And I also got Commodity Milk Bold. The last time I was in store and smelled this, I'm like, oh my God, this is so close to Sissa and Lost in a Dream. And I thought, well, if I'm going to have Lost in a Dream and Sissa, and I mean, there's probably 7 or 8 fragrances that are so close in that category, and I'm probably going to take a week and do a full wear test with each one and like make notes and compare them. But when I wore this the other day, I thought, I don't think I like this as much as Sissa or Lost in a Dream. I think the lactonic quality was dialed up a little bit compared to those, even though those do have lactonic aspects. And I think it's maybe just a little bit sweeter than those and doesn't have quite the level of balance from the earthy notes that the other ones do. But it's still good. I did wear it the other day and I thought, I like it, but I don't think I like it quite as much as Sissa or Lost in a Dream. So we will see, but I am glad to have the travel size, and I do really enjoy this smell. So there's one more travel size that I got as well, you guys. And this is a new one by Phlur, and this is Golden Rule. And this was quite a shock to me. I was really expecting something very tropical, coconutty. To me, it is very orangey. There is orange flower water in here, and what's happening is when you combine it with the mandarin that's in here and with the jasmine, you put it all together, it smells like orange blossom to me, but it almost is a little bit of a sharp, perfumey type of orange blossom. It almost reminds me sort of Love Don't Be Shy without the marshmallow. There were times in the dry down where I did get that tropical feel. It reminded me a little bit of sort of Alien Goddess. It did have that little bit of a tropical, coconutty, tropical floral feel to it. But it really is heavy on the orange flower water. That's the most dominant note that I pick up in this whole fragrance is the orange flower water. If you like that, if you love orange blossom scents, then I feel like this could be a real winner for you. It has almost a little bit of a vintage, mature vibe to it. It's very floral. Much more orangey than I thought. And it's orangey. It's very orangey to me. It smells like an old-fashioned type of orange blossom perfume. That's sort of what I'm getting out of it. Now, I am going to keep it. I am going to play around with it. I'm going to keep making comparisons because that's fun for me. And I have done a full wear test with this, and I didn't mind it. I didn't really dislike it. That's not actually true, because in the dry down, I did kind of dislike it, and it made me feel a little nauseous. Sometimes some orange blossom scents can make me feel a little queasy. It just depends on the orange blossom, but this one has that hairspray type of floral vibe. So Golden Rule was just okay for me. yeah, like that's okay too, because I mean, this is the fun of perfume, is discovering what you like and what you don't like so much. Now, I also did order the Forever Mood Discovery Set because I've had this on my loves list on Sephora for a year, more than a year probably. And I did get to smell these when I was in Boston. They haven't had them in store in Canada, at least not in my area. And the day that I smelled them in store on that trip, it was really hard to get to know the fragrances because there's so many other perfumes you're sniffing that day. And I remember that my son really liked these on me too, a couple of them. I think it was I Am Her and You Remind Me that he liked the most. But I have been more impressed smelling these in the privacy of my own home, not in a store with 1,000 other fragrances floating around me, but I've really enjoyed these. I Am Her, like it actually smelled like red velvet cake and cream cheese frosting to me. It was delicious. Hard to get. I didn't like it as much when I first sprayed it out. It reminded me a lot of Kayali Capri in a bottle, that sort of unsweet lemon. But it got better over time, and by the time it had dried down 3 or 4 hours, I was really, really enjoying it. You Remind Me, I was shocked by that. I found this one so pretty. I love the apricot and the musk together. I just found it just so girly and sweet and pretty, but like not just too plain and simple. It was quite nice. NDA was not my favorite. There was just something a little bit off about it for me, but I will play around with it some more. But I love just spraying these just in my house, just by myself, and having a chance to try them out. I've wanted to for so long. So I'm really enjoying, I love discovery sets, but I've really been enjoying this little Forever Mood discovery set. Hey guys, it's Editing Tam here. I just had to pop in real quick to let you know that I finally received my long-awaited bottle of Vanilla Éclat from Navitus in collaboration with Chris from the Perfume Nest, my dear friend here on YouTube. And I was just so excited. I ordered this on the day she released it, and it's been a while getting to me, and I was so thrilled when my husband came in through the door with this package. My jaw dropped. I just about jumped for joy. I was so over the moon excited, and I have been enjoying this so much already. I love it. Spoiler alert. This is the perfect balance. Oh my gosh. It's so good. I love it. It is creamy. It's buttery. It's vanilla. It's woody. It's got the perfect sandalwood in it. And it's just, I love it. It's not too sweet for me. That's one thing that I really, really love about it, because I'm always worried with perfumes that they're going to end up being a little too sweet for me, but this is not. It is so balanced. I love it. It just reminds me of a creamy, buttery dessert with like sort of sandalwood all around you. I don't know how to explain it. It's just so good. I have only had it for a couple of days. I'll be talking more about this in my most worn in January, because I've already worn it for a full day and to bed. So that is just my super quick first thoughts. I just wanted to pop in, and this video is already long. I'm trying to edit it down from 66 minutes. So far, I only have it down to about 30 minutes. I'm going to try to get it down further so I can fit this in. And look at me, still talking, making it longer and longer. But I love this. I'm so happy to have it. I'll fill you in more on this later. So yeah, back to the video. So thank you guys for joining me today for my haul. I really appreciate you taking your time and spending it with me. Let me know any things that you've purchased lately. I'd love to know, have you had successful buys or unsuccessful? I had a bit of both in this batch, but it's just so fun. I mean, it's just so fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.